Hello everybody, Caden here today with an episode of Minecraft Dinosaurs, and today we are here to do some more building on our eventual Diplodocus exhibit. So, as you can see, I don't know how much has changed since the last episode. I think I edited a bit of the landscape. I finished filling in some stuff, but I think it's relatively close to how it was at the end of the last episode. So today's plan for, well, I guess what I'm hoping to get done. I don't know if I'll finish all this in time, but I'm hoping to get a good deal amount of stuff done today. Mainly, well, I mean, I still obviously have a lot of terraforming I need to do, but I don't know. I've been trying to think about which part of the project I really want to work on right now, and I've realized something, and that is what we were talking about over here, which was incorporating the river into the main part of the exhibit, as this river doesn't really connect anywhere in the park yet. It's kind of just running behind. And I kind of realized, I mean, we talked about doing like a rock wall, and we're gonna do that back here. For sure, like a cliffside kind of like bordering the edge of the river. But I'm very much thinking maybe about right here, just raising the river up and making it a waterfall here. And then we can bring this back around here and stuff. And I don't know, maybe we'll put a building over here. Maybe there won't be any exhibits back here. Maybe it will literally just be a random river. But I don't know, I really like this idea. I like this idea of doing some sort of special terrain build back here. And now we're not gonna do all of that this episode. In fact, I'm thinking, I don't know when we'll finish this whole area, because at the end of the day, it's not really an important project. It's just kind of like a little project I'd like to work on. However, like part of it is definitely an essential bit, since, well, you know, it's kind of part of also how we're keeping the Diplodocus in the exhibit. So, part of the plan for today, I think, is going to be widening out the river here and actually sending it through, hopefully getting some water in. Starting construction of some of the rock retaining walls, so like that'll be along here, kind of like setting up the beach. And then, as you can see, I've got like stone and dirt in here, and I repaired up my tools, went down to the zombie farm. But I've also got some cobblestone with me. And the goal with that is I'm gonna start laying out the like the fence plans. So kind of coming around here and just kind of laying out the fences, where they're gonna go, and kind of, I guess, setting up where the enclosure's gonna be. Also, that's another thing I wanted to talk about real quick. I've been trying to think, and, or I've not been trying to think, I have been thinking. I've been looking at the Brachiosaurus fence, and I've been looking at the Diplodocus, and I feel like I need a different sauropod fence, in all honesty, which is kind of funny because I just spent all the time building that fence up in the Brachiosaurus exhibit. But I don't know. I was looking back at some of the exhibits, and especially, like, I feel like it works for the Triceratops, in all honesty. I mean, yes, I know Triceratops is still like a 5-6 ton behemoth of a dinosaur. But I mean, I feel like there's a difference between that and like a 35 to 40 ton animal. Or I guess Brachiosaur probably got even up to like 48 ton. Let's say like a 48 ton dinosaur pressing up against a wood and like chain link fence. That fence is not going to hold. I mean, maybe like a Triceratops will be held in by it, and we're gonna say it would, but like, I don't know, sauropods I guess seem like they need a higher security fence, so I'm very much considering redoing the fence for both this and this exhibit to kind of give it a bit more structure, give it a bit more security kind of thing. Oh, also, pathway going along the top of the hill here. I'm very much trying to figure out like how the path is actually gonna work, per se, because I haven't really figured that out yet. Because I don't know if I wanted to like, because I mean, obviously I might be editing the course of the river, and I do think I will. I'll probably be cutting this hill back a bit, but I haven't really figured out how exactly the path's gonna work yet. So that I don't think we'll get to the path this episode. Anyway, I guess the main goals for today's episode hopefully are gonna be just working a bit on the rocks terrain, maybe do a little bit more terraforming, and get kind of the fences started, or at least, I don't think we'll build the fences this episode, but like at least marking down where the fence is gonna be, so we have a really good idea of how big the exhibit is. Because once we kind of got down that exhibit size, at that point, we really can start planning out how many Diplodocus we can have. Speaking of which, I don't think I'll have time this episode, but maybe between next episode or so, I need to do mining, because we only have one Brachiosaurus DNA as far as I'm aware. so we're definitely gonna need more if we want to do most of the exhibit. Also, if my voice sounds a little weird, sorry about that. I literally woke up like 20 minutes ago, so I don't really think I'm well adjusted. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna catch up with you guys in just a second when I've gotten some progress done. Okay guys, we're back, and I've made a bit of progress, more progress than I actually probably realized I've made, but ta-da! Well, you can't actually see what I've done from here. You can kind of see it on the mini-map. We're actually gonna, so since the last cut, I've made a bit of progress on the river here. You can kind of see, yeah, no, I've been channeling. You can kind of see where I've removed tons of dirt, and oh my gosh, that was funny. Actually, I'm gonna go on a quick tangent here. So I've removed a lot of dirt trying to dig out this river here. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is gonna be so much dirt. I'm gonna refill my dirt stockpile. Except then I realized all the dirt I'm digging is almost immediately going back into the build to fill in holes. So, yeah, dirt. I need to get like an actual dirt quarry set up somewhere. So I should probably do that at some point. I don't know when I'll do it. I'll get around to it. Anyway, as you can see, I've dug out the beginnings of the river connection. And oh my gosh, guys, I cannot tell you how much I sympathize now with or I have sympathy for the people who had to dig like the Panama Canal or like the Suez, because oh my gosh, in this, just dear God, it took so long. It took like an hour to just get all this done. Like, I don't know why it takes so long, but it did. It also doesn't help that this river is apparently, it's not very wide, but it's very deep, which is problematic when trying to extend it, because suddenly I need to dig super deep down, because yes, I want to make it look nice. Anyway, so yes, I dug the river. I also did a bit of work on getting the cliff faces in. I only did that little bit there, but it's a bit more evident if we will quickly hop up to this side over here by the pathway, or what is of the pathway, I guess. Ta-da! I just kind of worked on getting a bit of the rock face in, and I'm actually really happy with this. I think it looks pretty good. It's obviously got to be extended all the way along. Also, I think both these hills are going to get brought back a bit more, because obviously they're meant to be cliff faces as well. Kind of like the river's been cutting through over the years and just kind of channeling in through this little hillside, which I really like the look of. And I think, obviously it looks a bit funny right now because there's still bits of grass down there, which I might leave actually and maybe put like some reeds or something, or sugarcane. But I like the feel it's gonna have, especially when we start to get the rock faces in a bit more on this side as well, because it's gonna have a very, very different look to it than every other exhibit does currently, and I like that. I mean, yes, kind of looks a bit like the Sarco exhibit. Again, it'll look better once the whole terrain feature is done, which, speaking of which, I do not think is gonna be happening in this episode, just because, I don't know, like, the last episode we were working on that terrain, which I do realize now I did a lot more work than I thought I did. I was like, oh, you know, I think max Diplodocus is gonna take 3 episodes. Like, 1 episode will just do all the terraforming, next episode will be fences, 3rd episode we'll get it in. Yeah, that was definitely very foolish of me to think that, because this is definitely gonna take a good deal of episodes, because this is actually a fairly large and complex build I decided to go for, so it's gonna take its sweet time to finish, but I'm really happy with it. Also, I actually really like how that dips down. I really do. I think we can leave it mostly like that, because I don't know. I like how it's very flat over here, and that kind of works really well. But I like how that little dip down there. It looks very good. Anyway, so some other things I wanted to mention. One was, I've realized now, so say even the pathway comes out to about the farthest maybe it'll go, so like right here, or like say it goes up to this block. The Diplodocus is actually going to be very far away from the pathways, I've realized. Like, they are not going to be a dinosaur that's super up close to the fence like almost every single other exhibit we have is. They're going to be far away, and I kind of like that. In fact, it's very much like I was saying with the fences, how I'm considering replacing them with a more high security fence. I'm very much considering doing something similar with the Brachiosaurus exhibit and trying to create a bit more space between the visitors and the Brachiosaurs. And I think I mentioned last episode, I want to do something with this pathway. I want to change it up. I want to get rid of it a bit and kind of figure out something new to do over here. And like I said, that'll especially be more easy since the Ankylosaurs are going to be moving out to a new area. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of funny to me because and for those of you who've been on the channel for a while, you know this about me. Whenever I start a new project and I do something I like, it quickly translates to I must rebuild that in other parts of the park to kind of get a good feel going. Anyway, so from here, I think the plan is I want to extend the rock wall out a bit more. Like I said, we're not finishing the river today. Maybe next episode the river will be finished, hopefully. But yeah, so I think we're gonna try and just get a bit more of the rock wall done. Maybe dig up a tiny bit more on the riverbed. Maybe put some stone up there so we can kind of get like an idea of how I'm gonna do the cliffs there, and maybe around here, kind of dig a bit more. And then I'll probably just work on setting up the fences. And other than that, I don't know what else I have planned. So yeah, I will catch up with you guys as soon as I have that finished. All right, so we're back, and well, as you can see, I made a tiny bit more progress. Well, actually a fair bit of progress. Again, it's iffy if you can kind of tell the difference. Well, because most of it's actually in a ditch, I guess, so it's a bit more difficult to see from up here. But if we look up here, I'm trying to remember what was done last time and what wasn't. I added a few more rocks up there, I think. It's been like a day since I recorded this last. Okay, yeah. Some stuff I do remember mostly because I literally was just working on this and decided this was a good enough point to bring you guys back into. As you can see, I've come through here and I actually dug a lot more of the riverbed down. We've got a lot more of it just kind of like coming through here. I am actually going to continue to lower it, but I don't know. I just wanted to go over like this side right here because obviously this side isn't really finished yet, but this side where we have a good idea of what it's going to look like in the end. Oh my gosh, I love this. Because it's like my typical rock kind of face cliffs we usually use, but I don't know, there's just something about it being half submerged that I am absolutely loving. I don't know, it's just cool to me to have that. I love to remember to put some dirt though along the edges, that way we get these reeds, or the water grass? I don't know what it is, but I definitely want more of it. We're gonna sleep real quick and then I'll go and show you guys off some of what I've done. What I've done. I can properly speak English, maybe, not really. You know, it's a hope and a dream that maybe one day I will be fluent in this language. But today is not that day. Oh come on, it's close enough. Let me sleep. Come on, let me sleep. There we go. All right. Okay. So one other thing. Well, after we go look at this, actually, excuse me, I got the hiccups there. No, not hiccups for another episode. But as you can see, if we look like right here, yeah, you can definitely see a lot more of like the progress I've made. I've still got a lot of digging to do, obviously, to kind of get it through this channel here. I'm gonna need to push some of this back on this side. And I've noticed and this was some of my design, but it's obviously a very straight section of river, and I don't know, part of me likes it, part of me doesn't like it. I think I'm gonna stick with it though, because I don't know. I mean, the river's so like bendy and stuff, but I mean, there's a big straight section back there. There's a big straight section here, and actually like this section up here will probably straighten out a bit too, just because I'll probably want to or need to. But anyway, I also did a bit of fence outlining, as you can see. You can kind of see it on the mini-map here. This exhibit is massive. And this isn't, I actually came in a bit too short with the cobblestone wall on this side, because it only comes to about over this hill. This is where it comes to. This is not where I intended it to go to. It's actually intended to meet up with this side of the hill over here. And that, because this whole hill is supposed to disappear. But most of that top of the hill, way back in that area, all the way up to this exhibit is massive. This is the biggest enclosure that's currently in the park. And I think that's absolutely awesome. I love this. In fact, it is once again making me consider expanding the Brachiosaurus exhibit, which I think we could do, especially since I was talking about doing a waterfall over here. We could expand the Brachiosaurus to include part of the waterfall and like part of the extension of this river here that we want to do. But yeah, I also, as you can see, kind of went along this side and built up the rock wall over here, kind of integrated the grass, and like, I don't know, I'm really liking where this is going. It's, I don't know, it's once again, it's a very different build than usual, because I think my grand total of 7 dinosaur parks I've built now, well, this being the 7th, I guess, there's 6 dinosaur parks and the 7th in progress. I have only used a river as a fence once, as far as I can remember. A river has only ever been a fence in an enclosure once, and it was an old Allosaurus exhibit I built, which I actually want to remake somewhat because it was actually kind of cool. But I just never really use rivers, and I don't know why, because they actually work really well as these great dividers between, you know, what I want the dinosaur to be able to access and what I want the visitors to be able to access. And I don't know, I'm just really excited with how this is coming together. I think it's going to be an awesome project when finished. I mean, obviously I'm going to have to landscape the whole thing, and that's actually a rather unfortunate realization to me that I have to do all the landscaping. I will say I'm trying to figure out how the pathway is exactly going to work, because I don't know, I want to figure out, I don't know how to explain it, like a good way to get you close to the like river's edge, because I'm realizing there's a lot of places you probably won't be able to see much of the river, which is unfortunate to me because I really like how the river's looking, and I'd like it to be visible for the most part, but we'll see what ends up happening. Anyway, there was one other thought I had, and that is, I know we have like this whole thing, and you aren't really going to be able to go too close to the Diplodocus, and we're talking about doing that with the Brachiosaurs already. I mentioned that twice this episode. But that got me to thinking, mostly of a suggestion one of my friends gave to me, good old Avalardo, or Innovative Pachyderm, and that was to do some sort of like a walkway coming off, like a specialized walkway coming off the main path that goes into there, has maybe like a tower or something where you could feed the dinosaurs. And I really like that idea, and this, if there's anywhere to incorporate that as like a trial run, I think it'd be here, so I'm considering how I would like to do that. Also, I forgot we're putting another dinosaur in over here possibly. So this pathway might actually have to come in a bit closer, because I'm thinking we could just have, or what we could do actually is like right here, maybe? Like right here, just build a plaza. Kind of like we were trying to do over by the Brachiosaurs, like in the rounded area. We could build like a plaza up here, and say it's like right here, and like this is your main way of viewing into the exhibit from this side, because you'll obviously be able to see it from the Triceratops. Speaking of which, I actually kind of want to head over there. I haven't worked any more on the barn. I need to, I know, but I kind of just really wanted to work on the Diplodocus exhibit because I thought it was going to be super cool, and it really is turning out to be awesome. But obviously, I think we keep mentioning this is probably with the Ankylosaurus exhibit down here, and then we're thinking of something else to put over here. Part of me, once again, was thinking Edaphosaurus, but no, that's going to go over in the non-dinosaur section of the park. So I'm going to figure out something to put in here. Not Gallimimus because it's not enough space, so I don't know, I'm trying to look into animals maybe we have already that we could move, so like relocating something somewhere else, which might not be a bad idea, because that again will give us more space to expand our current exhibits. And yeah, other than that, oh, also, so I didn't have time today because actually at the time I'm recording this now, I kind of need to start editing pretty soon. But I've realized, so there are episodes like this, and particularly the last episode, which I wasn't too happy with, for one reason, and that was I didn't feel like the episode really had much happen in it. Like, nothing really happened. And I don't think this episode is quite as bad with that, but I think it's going to struggle a tiny bit. So I'm starting to think what I might do is the main focus of the episodes will be, say, working on the big project. So Diplodocus exhibit, say in the future, a mammoth exhibit, a T-Rex exhibit, yada, yada, yada. But not all the episode will be focusing on building that. It might be like, you know, say I get tired of building for the day or like a day or two. So instead I decided, you know, in the middle of the episode, maybe it's like I come through and I just work on a previously unfinished build, get some pathways done, clean some stuff up, stuff like that. And I'm thinking that might work quite well, just kind of to, I don't know, have there be a bit more happen in the episodes. But yeah, so next episode, so this Friday, hopefully I'm gonna have time to go mining between this episode and the next one. Definitely want to get some biofossils going because we need more Diplodocus DNA. I mean, I think this exhibit's obviously big enough. I could probably stick like a herd of it. Oh gosh, excuse me there. But I could probably fit like a whole herd of Diplodocus in here. And I feel like that would be awesome. Just like 5 or 6 possibly. I feel like 6 is a bit of a spooky number for us, considering every time I've had like 6 dinosaurs, most of them die, looking at the trikes and the compies. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm just really excited to see how I kind of set this exhibit up in the end, because I'm also trying to think of like trees and how that's gonna work, because considering this is all boreal, I am considering just taking out all of the natural trees and replacing them with spruce trees to kind of give it a bit more of that like prehistoric forest kind of feel. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I think that's about it for now. Feather falling 4. Honestly, I need this on, what is it? I need feather falling boots on any world I have. I always jump off things that are definitely way too high to jump off of. Anyway, I want to come over here real quick, just kind of show you. So this is going to be the like dividing fence here between this area and what is definitely going to become Carnivore Alley, because, or at least 1 or 2 carnivore exhibits going over here. I mean, we talk about this like every other episode now, it feels like. But definitely gotta do something over here with those. It's just such a beautiful area. I am trying to figure out how I want to get the pathways over here. Obviously, I talked about something coming along from back here. But, I mean, I think a bigger problem is now trying to figure out, like, how do I get this whole area kind of connected up, but also keep the this key. Keep it from being too close to Diplodocus Exhibit, because I don't know, I've never really liked my carnivorous exhibits sharing just a fence with a herbivore exhibit, because I feel like, you know, you really shouldn't do that. Oh my gosh, the amount of pigs over here. Anyway though, I think that's gonna be all for today, and wow, this hill is amazing, and these mountains are amazing, and there's just so many cool things we can do over in this area. I don't know why I didn't come over here earlier. Well, I guess I was focused more on the like main center of the park, I guess. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you've all enjoyed watching this. Yeah, continue to leave suggestions. There were some great suggestions last episode for stuff we can do with this exhibit, so continue to leave ideas. I don't even think we'll start actually integrating tons of ideas, maybe until maybe next episode we can start doing that. We'll see. It just kind of depends how long, you know, it takes to get through with this project. I'm gonna try and get a bit more progress done on it between episodes, maybe finish the river up. We'll see. Anyway, thank you again for watching. Hope you've all enjoyed, and until next time, guys, see ya.